Joining us on the Marr Rock Show tonight, we have the great band out of Boston, 3 Parts Dead, and I believe we have the whole band on the line. So, guys, if you just want to say hi and your name and what you do in the band.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike. I sing and play guitar.
This is Mike Fitz. I'm lead guitarist.
This is Ramon, and I hit drums.
It's JC. I'm the bass player.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Another great band out of Boston. We've had several on the show, and you guys seem to sort of reform, I guess you say, on your site out of the ashes of Pretty Little Suicide. Can you kind of tell us how the band came together and how long you've been around?
Well, JC and myself are kind of the official remnants of PLS, I guess. PLS formed or reformed, I don't know, it's a whole sordid history, about 4 years ago with us in it. And we had a bunch of lineup changes. We were kind of plagued by them, and we lost our singer. Then we lost our bassist first. Then we lost our singer. Then we lost another bassist. Then JC joined the band, and then the guitarist started singing, and then he quit the band. So Fitz joined the band, and I started singing, and then the drummer left. And at that point, we were just like, all right, screw this. We got a new sound. We're writing new music that's in a different direction. We don't have the same image anymore, and none of us really like the name in the first place. So, new band. Here we are.
Now, despite being a sort of a new band, you guys have already had some pretty cool gigs. I saw you were out at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and it looks like you're heading back there again. Is that right?
Yeah, we did New Year's this past year, or a couple months ago, whatever, at the Whiskey, which was pretty cool, opening up for Kicks. And I guess we did okay because they invited us back, and we're heading back there in June with Slaughter.
They actually asked us back twice, so they asked us back with Lynch Mob, but we just couldn't make it happen. It was too short a notice, so we're going back for direct support with Slaughter.
That's very cool, and you guys those are both bands that I love to see live. As a Baltimore native, I'm a big Kicks fan, and Slaughter's awesome too. So is that generally, do you guys kind of have a genre of band that you sort of play with, or is it just sort of luck that it's been that 80s style band?
Well, we going back to the PLS days, we kind of got our start playing out at Rocklahoma. We got hooked up out there the first year, and that was the year that AEG kind of made it a mix of 80s and more modern. And that's really sort of set the tone for us, where we definitely play our share of shows with these 80s bands, which is awesome because that's what we grew up listening to. But then we've also played some shows with some newer bands, and we've got kind of a more modern sound at this point, I'd say. So, it's best of both worlds, I guess.
Now, not to beat that 80s drum again, but are you guys playing the Rockers Gone Wild pool party again this year?
Yeah, we're doing that. Got a good time last year. Got of messed up with that one, which is always good. So
the pool party last year was actually the final show is Pretty Little Suicide, or the first show is 3 Parts Dead.
Oh, wow. So you were really debuting a new band.
What's that?
I said, so you were really debuting a new band there.
Yeah, well, you got to have some fun with it.
Now, for folks that don't know, that's sort of a pre-party for the Monsters of Rock cruise. Now, have you guys been on the cruise, or have you gone on a rock cruise yet?
Well, I play with a couple other bands, and when Eric Martin tours with a full band, I play in his band. So back in 2012, I played on Monsters of Rock with that. And then I was scheduled to play this year, but because Eric's got a conflict, we're not playing it, but I'm still going on it. But 3 Parts Dead, we would love to be on it, but unfortunately it's kind of a retro cruise. Otherwise we'd be there in a second. I mean, we've tried, believe me. So next best thing is, doing this kickoff party, which is unbelievable.
Now, you guys have I think it's a pretty new EP out that I've been listening to that's been out not too long. That's a 2013 release. Tell us about the EP.
Well, basically we put the band together, and we played one show, and the show went so well that we were like, all right, the songs are good. Let's just, why waste time? Let's get in the album, cut some tracks. And, we did. We just kind of flung it together, and we were lucky enough to, we decided to record sometime in March, and then we got an offer to play at the Middle East, which is one of the cooler venues in Boston. And so we just kind of rushed everything out and did our CD release there. So, the whole album was done live. It's not some Pro Tools masterpiece. That's just us in the studio cranking it out.
Now, a couple of the hear the story maybe behind two of my favorite songs, if there is a story. Sometimes I look for a story and you guys just tell me you cranked out a song. But so far, my favorite tune on there is the first one, Feed.
Well, so Feed is, that's, I guess, probably the first track we wrote is 3 Parts Dead.
Yeah, probably.
And it's just kind of about, it's about people who sort of inflate their own opinion of themselves and kind of lie to themselves, and meanwhile they're sort of crashing and burning and pushing everyone around them away, and, you know, they think they're doing great and they think they're hot shit, and at the same time they're just crashing and burning.
That song has a really cool tune to it. Now, I'm always hesitant when I talk to bands to put labels on bands, but when I only do it to let folks know kind of what you sound like. To me, I thought you guys had a really cool mix of punk and glam and metal, and it kind of almost reminded me of like some old school Goo Goo Dolls and some Faster Pussycat. And do you guys ever like compare yourselves to anybody?
I mean, yeah, that's what years ago, I was hanging out with Motley Crue's tour manager, and we were just shooting the shit, and he said, as bullshit as it seems, and all artists want to say, oh, we don't sound like anyone else, we sound like ourselves, the first thing you need to do is decide what 3 bands you sound like. And so, I've kind of gone with, like, Guns N' Roses meets Alice in Chains meets, like, Buckcherry or Hinder or someone a little more modern. But I you know, Faster Pussycat's fair. The old school Goo Goo Dolls is cool. There's definitely some punk and some glam and some metal in what we do, for sure.
Now, are you guys working on a music video, or has that started yet, or is that something that's in the offing there?
Oh, we're working on it. It's actually a longer process than we hoped, because we're obviously not that organized. We can play music pretty good, we just can't record a friggin' video. But yeah, it's getting there. It will get out sooner rather than later.
Now, is this going to be a live music video? Is this going to be a concept video? What do you guys have in the works, if you're allowed to talk about it?
Well, the plan has been to do a concept video, which is part of why it's just taken so long. And I guess kind of the longer and longer this drags out, the more and more inclined we are to just do a live video just to put something out there. So we'll see whether patience or impatience wins out for that.
I've got you guys. I guess have you started rehearsal tonight or not? Tell us a little bit about what goes on at a band rehearsal there, if you're allowed. Now, it's a PG-13 show.
Drinking. Lots of drinking involved. There's usually a few beers cracked.
Yeah, what we do is we have our live set planned out that's got, pretty much exactly how we're going to play the songs, the breaks in between the songs, when we have to tune and everything. We try to say that as much as possible, so when we do play live, it's like we're just practicing. It's actually worked out really well for us. And then, of course, we do that a couple times, have a couple beers, screw around, crank up the Marshalls, and it's kind of history after that.
It depends on the night and how many beers are involved, but some nights we just jam on new stuff. Some nights we'll start playing random covers. Other nights we'll jam through the set for an hour and then head to the bar. We try and keep it pretty relaxed. We don't have like a strict regimen that we follow.
Now, you said working on possibly some covers. What's the process for that? Does somebody just throw out a favorite song? Do you just start playing it, or how do you pick what tune you might cover from time to time?
We try to be really organized and email around, and everyone suggests something, and then we always forget and never practice those songs. So we'll just be drunk at rehearsal, and someone will be like, "Hey, dude, let's play Hammersmith Palais by Mike Monroe," and we'll try it, and it's usually a train wreck, but it's a lot of fun, so then we'll incorporate it.
Now, do you guys ever play any unplugged sets? I know your music's a little heavier, so I didn't know if it would really lend itself to that, or do you do some unplugged stuff too, or is it all electric?
We have. We've done a couple of radio shows unplugged. The songs actually lend themselves reasonably well to playing acoustically. Obviously we like to play as loud as humanly possible, but we did like a radio show up in New Hampshire. Was our first acoustic gig, and that went really well.
That was amazing. The guy was so cool. Actually, he's going to be on the Monsters of Rock, and he's going to the pre-party with us, so it's going to be a really cool thing.
Now, you guys, even though you're Boston-based, you've obviously had quite a lot of travels here already, and is there one part of the country that's latched onto you guys more than the other?
It's got to be the Midwest. As I mentioned, PLS kind of got its head start out at Rocklahoma, and so we we played there a few years as PLS, and when we first put Three Parts Dead together, we went out there and we're just hanging out and talking to people, and that part of the country still really loves rock and roll, and they've always just been incredibly supportive to us. There's a bunch of FM and internet radio stations out there that love to spin us, and we seem to have a ton of traction out that way. So Oklahoma, Kansas.
We dominated LA when we were out there. I'm telling you. I mean, the Hotel Andes, which used to be the Riot House, was tweeting that we were staying there. I mean, it was unbelievable. And when I called there just the other day to book rooms, they asked us how long we're going to be there and if we wanted to play on the pool deck. So, I mean, we pretty much made a pretty big impact out there as well.
I'd honestly say we do pretty well everywhere that we get to, with the possible exception of Boston.
I've heard from time to time the rock scene can be a little tough up there, and you guys got to branch out a little bit from time to time, from what I understand.
When you say the rock scene in Boston, what rock scene are you referring?
I guess in my mind, it's the bands from up there. I know we're pretty good friends with Prospect Hill and Lansdowne, and I know I've talked to them about that very same topic from time to time.
Yeah, there's a handful of us, but...
Well, listen, we're looking forward to seeing you guys live at the first opportunity. We'll be on Monsters of Rock cruise. Unfortunately, the airlines kind of decided on their own to change our flight time, so we might miss the Rockers Gone Wild party. But at some point, we're going to catch a Three Parts Dead live show. So thank you so much for being on the show tonight, and I apologize for my voice. I hope y'all can hear me okay, and I hope you have a great rehearsal there.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Take care, guys, and we'll see you live someday soon here.
Sounds good. Rock and roll, brother.